To the camera right is Cicily Hidalgo. To the left is Hannah Brewer. Of course, the middle is head coach Jeremy White. Coach, describe the excitement among the team starting a new season.
I mean, I think we're all pretty pumped. We've got an opportunity to come out and start off the season great. We got a great group of kids that have come out and been here pretty much all summer. I think from a coach's perspective, we moved it in June this year instead of July, and then they were supposed to be off in July, but a good, 2/3 of the team was still here pretty much the whole summer working in training. So that was pretty pumped. And then, we come into practice and it's like we never left. And the incoming freshmen and stuff are just integrating really well. So it could be a great year.
What have you seen throughout the preseason from this team?
Just a lot of drive, a lot of willingness to try new things, a lot of openness, and then just great teammates. I think our culture is probably in the best place it's ever been in, and to the point that our young people are super welcome and feel super welcome, and it's allowing them to just come in and compete at a really, really high level to start the year off.
What improvements have you seen thus far in the team? What more do you need to see before your first contest?
Yeah, I'm really liking what we're seeing from an attacking perspective. I think we're doing a great job of going in and making some choices that we prefer to make in regards to seeing things better and making the right decisions when we're going to take swings. So that's been a big piece. I think it's going to really help our offense out and the development of our right sides in our middles this year. We've been pretty heavy on the left, and I think we've got a position now where we're in a position now where we can get a lot of points scoring out of other positions. More than anything else, we've just got to really hammer out details. I think right now we're doing a good job of making some changes, but it's maybe 75% of the time, and I think we could be a little more intentional, and that's going to be a big piece in regard, especially playing teams like BYU, High Point, and Fairfield, all of which were in the NCAA tournament last year to start the first weekend. If we want to go out and have a great weekend to start, we're going to really have to hammer out these details a little more.
All right, you got these two ladies beside you. Describe how important they are to the team.
Huge. I mean, I think anytime you're in a position where you're only returning 3 out of the 7 that you started the year before, you got to lean heavily on your seniors. Right now these two are kind of leading the way. We're in a situation where they, just how we go about practicing, how we go about holding each other accountable, and elevating the pace and the play in the gym. I think they're doing a great job of it. They've been, really great about communicating with the whole team and especially our young ones about, what it means to be a part of Southeastern Volleyball and kind of what our mottos and stuff are, what our value system looks like. And I think that they're just doing a great job of doing that, both from a vocal perspective and from being a great example.
Okay. So you talked about the attrition, I guess attrition is the right word, of how the core from the last two you're back-to-back conference champs, and returning just 3 of 7. How do you feel about continuing that success when you've had the turnover that you've had this year?
I think it really starts from what we've built inside of our gym. I felt like last year, a lot of the time in practice, what we were doing in practice was, some of our best competition was in practice. I think when we were putting together scout plans and everything like that, there would be times when our scout team was actually running offenses better or more efficiently for other teams than we felt like they were running against us in matches. That is a great thing for us because it allowed us to develop a lot of athletes and a lot of different perspectives and a lot of different ways. So it's made them more versatile. And so now you've got an opportunity to come in with these where everybody's in a pretty good place, play-wise and everything. It's really, obviously we need more experience and stuff, and they're going to gain it throughout the beginning of the season. But I think we're just in a great spot where everybody knows kind of what we need to do to be successful. They've done it in our gym in a competitive environment for the last year or two, and so it's made practices to start the season off this year extremely competitive, and really never in a situation where anybody's like putting any kind of damper on the drill or holding it back or anything like that. It's always progressing forward. Each day feels like it's been a progression of better and better.
Now there's some players who are kind of unknown, or some positions that have been kind of you talked about having a better feeling if you get more scoring.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a position that you feel particularly deep in?
Yeah, I feel like right now our middles, we have a good number of middles who are doing a lot of really good things. Some of them are doing, maybe really good in blocking here. Offense maybe lagging a little behind, but catching up. And then some that are kind of just, pretty good at both. And then some that are, doing a great job attacking and maybe just need a little work on the blocking. But that's a position where we feel like, outside of maybe, Hannah, who's going to return with us and everything and have the experience, even though we're lacking some of the experience there, we got a lot of options for somebody, to one, maybe deal with different types of offenses on the other side, but also, you know, can give us a different, thing. I guess best way to put it, like they can give us a different way of scoring or a different way of handling another team at a really high level, regardless of who we put in. And I also, on the second side of that, our right side's doing a great job of getting better. That's going to be an interesting position as well, just because we have a lot of different players who can mix into that role. And so it makes it deeper than it maybe seems in regards to like how they're listed on the roster. Yeah, I would say middles is probably the deepest we've ever been in the middle.
How fun has it been to get back onto the court with your teammates?
I think it's fun right now because we have a great group of girls who are willing to learn and try new things. Whereas, not that in the past it wasn't, but I just feel like now everyone wants to play so much more than they have before, and they want to prove not only to themselves but to people on the team that like they can do it. So I think just getting after it in practice and really proving to yourself and each other that like you are capable of things, it's been really fun. Like, I've been loving it.
And I'll say, like, with only 3 new freshmen, we're always together. And so it's just like we're restarting just another season with the same people. So it's not like anything new. And the 3 freshmen have done a great job, like, including themselves with, like, how hard we practice and all the effort we put in. So it's been really fun.
What improvements have you seen amongst yourself and your teammates so far this preseason?
I'll say this preseason we've been really working on defense, and it was kind of slow at first, but now we're finally getting the hang of it. So the effort is like all out, and we're getting some great balls up, and that's even more exciting sometimes than like a big kill. So yeah, I think we're improving in that a lot.
I would have to agree, just like our pursuit pattern towards things, like even if they don't get the ball necessarily up into a good place, like they go for it the first time, and the second time they get it up, then the third time they're actually getting it to target. So just seeing us progress in that way, like applying what we're being taught and then being able to execute it. And I think also not being so hard on ourselves. I think we've all improved on that. Like we're taking feedback in a very positive way, which I think is great.
What goals do you have for yourself and the team this season?
To win a conference championship.
I think a good goal would be to start off the season like on a really high note. Like we have 3 really good teams the first weekend at BYU, so even if we don't win, we can still really challenge these teams and have a good chance of winning the way we're playing, and just start season high and going right into conference.
Any specific accomplishments from last year to this year? I know the three-peat is always the desired accomplishment, but just like better. Do you see your performance improvements from last year? Or?
I want to go to the NCAA tournament and win a set.
Sad. Let's just win the whole damn game.
Okay, realistically win the game, but if we fall short, knowing that we went on and take a set would feel great.
I'll agree with that.
Let's talk about just the experience of those 2 matches that you've had in the NCAA tournament the last 2 years, Minnesota and Oregon. Just like, I'm sure it's some of the biggest crowds y'all have played in. Just talk about like that experience and wanting to get in front of that for a 3rd time in a row.
Yeah, I would say at Minnesota was really fun because like everyone looks at Minnesota as a big team with a big gym and a bunch of fans, and we played really well with like it being our first tournament. We were just so excited to be there, and so I want to do that again for the final year.
I think, yeah, Minnesota, I think everyone just kind of soaked it all in because none of us had ever had that experience before. And then going to Oregon was kind of the same thing, but more of like, okay, we made it last year. So this year, like, just yes, it is a Cinderella story, and like we're having fun, but also like we're here for a reason and we want to prove ourselves. And I think going again and just being able to show that Louisiana can be consistently good at volleyball just proves a lot to everyone around the country that like we can keep up and we can build a program that is consistently good.
Did you watch any Olympic volleyball?
Yes.
A lot.
Did you have any high moments that you saw while watching that? To the all
I
three of
watched
you.
a lot of beach volleyball, and so that's obviously really exciting to watch, especially the pair from Louisiana. So
Watched a lot of indoor volleyball.
Me too.
Really enjoyed watching Italy. Thought they were tremendous this year. A lot of the stuff that they were doing. Liked seeing some good things from our national team as well. But I was really, really impressed with how Italy handled it, especially in a situation where they really have been trying to get to that medal stand for a long time, and they finally made it happen. And to do it in a gold manner was pretty exciting for them. Obviously, it stinks for the U.S., but I was excited to see what they could accomplish.
I watched a lot of indoor men's and women's. I mean, I didn't like follow every single match, but I thought they were doing great things. They were very competitive.
Any tactics you can take away from watching like Olympic volleyball?
Man, watching super athletes go up and just get the ball and just crank on the angle. So much watching that. I mean, like when the U.S. lost to China, I thought that was a big piece of what was happening. China just was not afraid to just crank the angle every single time they went up. So that's definitely one thing we got to really keep pushing with these guys. So
we're working on it.
If y'all have anything else you'd like to add?
Line up.